good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you may be in the world. Thank you for joining me for another edition of the Truth Conductor Show. I do not own the rights to this music or any music that I play on YouTube. Man, I'm a little early this morning because I'm excited about what I done discovered. Uh, Listen, your understanding is the key to your success. Okay? Your understanding. Now, I've been talking about, the benefits of understanding, of what it will do for you. And I don't think people really realize how important understanding is. See, what you don't understand, you are bound to repeat it. Let me say that again. What you don't understand, you are bound to repeat it because you don't understand it. Anytime you understand something, you're not afraid of it. You know how to deal with it. When you understand something. And what's the one thing that people struggle with is their understanding. Listen, let me show you this, because now it's all making sense. It's all making sense now. Now it's coming together. Listen, I talk about this scripture all the time. This is Proverbs chapter 8. Okay? I'm going to go down to verse 14. Counsel is mine and sound wisdom. I am understanding. I have strength. Okay? I am understanding. So y'all know how I like to do. So that we can get a clearer version. Let's look up that word understanding. Understanding. The ability to understand something, comprehension. The ability to understand, to comprehend. The ability to comprehend. Let's look up that word comprehension. I heard that. Comprehension. The action or capability of understanding something. See, anytime you try to educate yourself, to uplift yourself, you're going to have to get a different understanding. Okay? Listen. I am understanding. I have strength. Okay? By me kings reign. Listen, by me kings reign. Let's look up that word reign. Reign. Hold royal office, rule as king or queen. Okay? When see, by me kings reign. and rulers decree justice. See, how can a ruler decree justice if they don't have some kind of understanding of what they're dealing with? And that's what you go to school for, is to get an understanding, to be educated. Wow. And that's what understanding is, an education. Understanding, now it's making sense. Okay? Understanding, when you embrace understanding, you're now educating yourself. You are now enlightening yourself. You are now, listen, it says, by me kings reign, and rulers decree justice. By me princes rules and nobles, all the judges of the earth. I love those who love me, and those who seek me diligently will find me. See, and let me show you something. See, the system knows that you don't, on certain things, you don't have an understanding. How does the system know that? Because when it's wrong, you don't check it. That's how they know you don't know. When they treat you wrong, you don't check, you go along with it. Because you don't have the understanding to be able to challenge it. And when you can't challenge it, people will treat you any way they want to, because they know you ain't got the understanding. Look in the black community, man. See, the police department know we don't know our rights. They know we don't know our rights. So they can come up and tell us anything, because they know we don't know. Because when we know our rights, we're going to stand up. We're going to speak up when we know our rights. But when you don't know your rights, people can treat you anyway, because you don't have an understanding. You don't understand. And what's the one thing you're going to make a mistake on? What you don't understand is what you're going to make a mistake with. Okay? That's how important understanding is. Man, listen. I got a brother on here, Everett Overton. He's a coach and my biggest supporter, by the way. What does Everett teach? Understanding. How to understand how women gonna treat you, how they gonna act. That's what he's teaching. Understanding. That's what he's trying to share. Understanding. Listen to me, and I'm gonna show you how women are gonna act, how they gonna treat you, how you need to act. He's teaching understanding. And listen, I love those who love me, and those who seek me diligently will find me. What will they find? Verse 18. Riches and honor with me, enduring riches and righteousness. My fruit is better than gold, yes, than fine gold. You know what? Now it's making sense. Now it's making sense. Listen. Now it's making sense. This is Proverbs chapter 3, okay? Verse 13. Happy is the man who finds wisdom. Happy is the man who finds wisdom. Let's look up that definition. Wisdom. Wisdom. The quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment. Wisdom. All right? Happy is the man who finds wisdom, and the man who gains understanding. Verse 14. For her proceeds are better than the profits of silver, and her gain than fine. Man, listen. Let me show y'all this. Let me go back this. This is Proverbs chapter 3, verse 13. Happy is the man who finds wisdom, and the man who gains understanding. For her proceeds are better than the profits of silver, and her gain than fine gold. She is more precious than rubies, and all things you may desire cannot be compared to her. That's understanding. Anything that you can desire on the face of the earth can't even compare to your ability to understand. Okay? Listen. Length of days is in her left hand, in her right hand, and in her left hand, riches and honor. Okay? We're talking about understanding. And see, and I don't think people have really come to the realization of how important their understanding is. Man, if you don't understand something, you lost. Think about it. The majority of the conflicts and disagreement that we come into is because of a misunderstanding. Because people, again, man, when you understand something, you can relate to it. It don't intimidate you. It don't scare you when you can understand it. Okay? That and that is what I think, like give you an example. You know, see, most folk are going to gravitate to what works for them. And if deceit, deception, trickery, lies, if that's what's been working for you, that's what you're going to gravitate to. Because that's what you understand. That all you understand, man, is how to get over on people, how to be dishonest. Okay? And you got some people that are professionals at being dishonest. They are pros at being dishonest. You know, and like I told you, most folk know the rules and regulations. And when they violate them, if you don't check them, they know you don't know. And therefore, they're going to keep on treating you the way because you don't know. And once you check them and you find out, you notice they'll treat you differently because now you have some understanding. And see, and this is because the educational system didn't just start failing these young kids. Man, you got people my age. I'm 70 and older that an educational system has failed. Has failed them. They don't know. And they're good at pretending and hiding the fact that they don't know. And you think they're going along with you and they really don't know what you're talking about. And too embarrassed to tell you, man, I don't understand this. I don't get this. It's because, why? What's the one thing that can get you demonized? Your lack of understanding. See, people will demonize you because you don't understand something, because you don't get something. See, when you're used to money, you understand how money operates. But when you ain't got no money, see, you understand how you have to operate, how sometimes you got to rob Peter to pay Paul. See, when you have that understanding, that's the key, y'all. Your understanding is the key. And what you don't understand, you're bound to repeat it. And that's why we got a lot of division and the hatred and the animosity that we got today, because people don't understand what they're dealing with. Okay? That's what I see, man. And let me show you this. Let me show you how important understanding was. This is let me go back. This is chapter 8. Let me go back to verse 18. Riches and honor are with me, enduring riches and righteousness. My fruit is better than gold, yes, than fine gold, and my revenue than choice silver. Verse 20. I traverse the way of righteousness in the midst of the paths of justice, that I may cause those who love me to inherit wealth, that I may fill their treasuries. Now, listen to this. Verse 22. The Lord possessed me at the beginning of his way, before his works of old. I have been established from everlasting, from the beginning, before there was ever an earth. Understanding was here. See, God could not form the universe if he didn't have an understanding of what he was. Oh, and see, a lot of us are in the situations we're in today because we don't have an understanding of the power that we possess. See, that's what, man, and this is I'm talking to myself now, because I'm now realizing that it's my understanding that I've been overlooking, and that's where the blessing is. Listen, when there were no depths, I was brought forth. When there were no fountains abounding with water, before the mountains were settled, before the hills, I was brought forth. While as yet he had not made the earth or the fields or the primal dust of the world, when he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he drew a circle on the face of the depth of the deep, when he established the clouds above, when he strengthened the fountains of the deep, when he assigned to the sea its limits, so that the waters would not transgress his commands, when he marked out the foundations of the earth, then I was beside him as a master craftsman, and I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him, rejoicing in his inhabited world, and my delight was with the sons of men. Verse 32. Now therefore listen to me, my children, for blessed are those who keep my ways. Listen. Now therefore listen to me, my children, for blessed are those who keep my ways. Verse 33. Hear instruction and be wise, and do not disdain it. Hear instruction. See, when again, I told y'all, when you're exalting understanding, you're teaching. And when you're teaching, you're giving instructions. You're showing people how to do things, how to act, how to behave, how to respond. Okay? When you're giving instructions. Okay? Listen. Where are we? Now therefore, listen to me, my children. For blessed are those who keep my ways. Hear instruction and be wise, and do not disdain it. Verse 34, blessed is the man who listens to me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the post of my doors. For whoever finds me finds life and obtains favor from the Lord. But he who sins against me wrongs his own soul. And all those who hate me love death. Man, when you hate being corrected, you love death because you ain't listening to nobody. And your key right now, the key for you is your ability to be able to understand. And like I told you, man, when you understand something, you ain't intimidated by it. It don't scare you. See, you don't be freaked out by it when you understand it. You know how to deal with it when you understand it. And the one thing that we don't try to make sure is that people understand what we're talking about, because we make assumptions that they get it, that they know. We just automatically make, because it's simple to us, we feel that it should be simple to everybody because it's simple to us. And that might not be the case. See, you might have to break this down. What's going on, Steve? Thank you for joining me. See, you might have to break it down to people to explain. And like I told you, anything that you don't understand, man, you're bound to repeat it. You're bound to repeat it if you don't understand it. Because if you understood it, you wouldn't do it again. Okay? And like listen, and I'm not saying this. I'm reading to you out of the Bible. Listen. This is chapter 3. I'm gonna go back to 13. Happy is the man who finds wisdom, and the man who gains understanding. For her proceeds are better than the profits of silver, and her gain than fine gold. The Bible is saying that, wait a minute, let me finish reading that. 15, she's more precious than rubies, and all things you may desire cannot be compared with her. There is nothing you can desire that you can compare with gaining understanding. Ain't enough money in the world can compare with you gaining understanding. Listen, for her proceeds are better than the profits of silver, and her gain than fine gold. And what we talking about? We talking about materialism. When for her proceeds, matter of fact, let's look up that word proceeds. Let's look that word up. Proceeds. Money obtained from an event or activity. Money obtained from an event or activity. Listen, it says, for her proceeds are better than the profits of silver, and her gain than fine gold. Understand, and notice, understanding is not tangible. Understanding ain't something that you can pick up like this pair of scissors right here, that you can hold. See, what we talking about is in the mind. It's all mental. See, everything we're talking about right now is in the mind. When you get understanding, that's mental. That's not physical, that's mental. Okay? And you got to have the right mind to be able to process understanding correctly. That's above board. Because you got understanding that's below too. The same understanding that you have in good, you got that same understanding in bad. There's some people that understand how to manipulate the system. They know how to work the system. All right, to get what they want. And that's why they have to keep looking over their back, because they cutting corners. Because that's what their understanding has taught them. And see, and if you really wanna kind of zoom this thing in, see, your life right now is a product of your understanding. Let me say that again. Your product, your life right now is a product of your understanding. It's a product of your understanding. It's just that simple. How you living today is a product of your understanding. Because the Bible say, listen, happy is the man who finds wisdom and the man who gains understanding. And what's the one thing that people don't go out and man, understand what you're dealing with. Understand what you're dealing with. Understand who you're dealing with. See, one of the reasons that crime is out of control in the black community is because we haven't identified who we dealing with. See, we haven't identified who we dealing with. We're dealing with the offsprings of baby kids. Remember baby kids back in the 80s, them bad, rambunctious, loud, rude, undisciplined children that would cuss you out at the drop of a hat? Those were baby kids. Well, we're dealing with the offsprings of baby kids, and they're worse than their parents. They are worse than their parents. Because only thing get their attention is that money, man. That's why they always, every time you see them, they got to be flexing with their money on social media, because that's what get their attention. Materialism. And we haven't figured out how to use that to get them to do right. See, if we gonna turn this situation around, man, we're gonna have to start using incentives for people to do right. See, this thing doing it because it's the right thing to do don't matter now. Man, them kids ain't listening to that. They don't want to hear that. They want some cheese in their pocket. You know, they want a nice ride. They want some nice rags on their back. So they ain't trying to hear, doing it the right way. They doing it whatever way they can get it. Because that's their understanding. And see, we ain't showed them no other kind of way. The only way, listen, the average black kid right now in the black community only knows probably mostly how to cut corners, how to cheat, how to get over on the system. Because that's what that's their livelihood. That's what they see every day. In order to survive, man, they got to get over on the system. They got to beat the system. Because for them to come out and try to do it the right way and try to do it, man, it's frustrating for them. Because they want it right now. See, they got to have it like just like this. Okay? And this is the problem. This is the problem. So you know, man, take a look at your understanding. Take a look and see, and when you real honest about the things you understand and what you don't understand, you'll still be in bondage. And you got a lot of people right now that are holding on to a past, a memory, a thought, and don't want to let it go, and don't understand that as long as you hold on to that stuff, you stuck. See, you don't have the understanding to realize when you got a lot of unforgiveness, a lot of vindictiveness, revenge in your heart, man, you stuck. You stuck in the moment of whatever it is you upset about. That's where you stuck. You can't, your life is passing you by because you too busy focused on something that you can't do nothing about. You can't change it. And you just go through all these different scenarios in your mind. And ain't none of them can come to a reality because the event is gone. It's done happened. And see, a lot of people don't know how to move on. Oh, snap. A lot of people don't know how to move on, man. A lot of people, you know who I'm going to tell you who you're going to see this situation is going to backfire. This girl, Jada Pinkett Smith. I don't know why she's doing this to her husband. I really don't have, well, yes I do, because she's laying out her case to fall back on whatever decision that she makes. Even though she's saying divorce is not an option, she's still laying out all of the elements that if it do becomes an option, well, you see what I went through, you see what I had to deal with, I just couldn't take it no more. Okay? But in the meantime, she's still selling books. Okay? At her husband's expense. And you know, it's sad, man, that it has to come down to that. But that's a lack of understanding. Everything going on in your life, you don't need to air on social media. I mean, there's some things that I'm experiencing I wouldn't dare put on social media. I wouldn't dare put them on social media. Because I know people oftentimes take circumstances and situations that you're dealing with and try to use them against you, throw them back up in your face. See, that's how people try to demonize you. They'll take something that you're doing and throw it back up in your face. I see, there you go. Stop hating each other because you disagree. See, just because you don't come to a consensus with them. Well, how come I thought you said stop hating each other because you did. I ain't hating, I just disagree with you. I ain't putting no passion behind that. See, and this is why, here's another thing. See, we automatically assume that people know the difference between disagreement and hate. And they don't. They got the two meaning the same. See, when I disagree with you, I can't come to a consensus with you. Ain't no passion behind that. But man, when I hate you, I'm gonna put, I'm gonna give you an example. There's this there's this white man down at the White House, and sometimes he be checking my social media. That's always bragging about what he's done and what he's accomplished. The Secretary of the Army, Chief of Staff of the Army, gave him a dog tag, but they didn't engrave it. They didn't engrave his name on it. He was that important. See, they so appreciated what he did, they just gave him a regular dog tag. They didn't engrave it to mark it, to make it special. They just gave him a dog tag that you could probably get in from any flea market. You can find that dog tag. If it ain't engraved, how I know it was given to you? Okay? If you was that important and that appreciated, and he thinks that I hate him because I disagree with him. But he stays at there's a peace vigil that's been there like 40 some years. And he's been staying there overnight. And he will come like 2 and 3 hours before he's supposed to start his shift, just to bring his music out and interrupt me. See, he put some passion behind that. That's when you hate. It's when you put some passion behind an emotion. See, and just like when you love, you put some passion behind that emotion. When you love something, you will put that first. See, when you love something, you're going to put it first. Okay? And if you don't believe me, look back at some of them bad relationships that you've been involved in your life when you loved somebody that didn't love you, and how you put them first. And yet you was always the last one thought about. But because you love them, you put them first. They was ahead, even maybe in front of your children, because of the love that you had for them. See, that's an emotion. You putting some passion behind that. Well, that's the same way with hate. When you hate somebody, man, you're going to put some passion behind that. See, your actions are going to have some intensity with them when you hate. But when you disagree, you just can't come to a consensus. And how many people will turn around and tell you, because you disagree with, how come you hating me? I'm not hating you. You just don't understand the definitions. You got them confused. See, and that's what the problem is. Most people have disagreement and hate confused. They think they one and the same, and they're not. Because folk have taken for granted that they know and they don't know. And they have taken they have taken an assumption and ran with it. They took an assumption and ran with it and took it as gospel. And it's not gospel. It's just an assumption. See, you can assume somebody knows something, treat them like they know, and they don't know. Okay? So, man, it's your understanding. That's what I've come and see here's the thing about understanding. You don't necessarily believe everything that you understand. Just because you understand it don't mean you believe it. So you can understand, man, that going out here messing with another man's wife ain't the right thing to do. Okay? Or going out here and trying to rob a bank because you need some money might not be the right thing to do. See, everything that you understand, you don't have to necessarily agree with. Okay? But you understand. You understand not to do wrong. You understand the consequence. And some people don't even care about the consequences of doing wrong. It don't matter to them. Because all they see is what they want right here and right now. It's your understanding, man. It's your understanding. And when you start understanding some stuff, see, now people gonna start treating you differently. Okay? They're gonna start treating you differently when you understand. Okay? And that I mean, let me show you. Now, remember when they came out with during COVID with these PPP loans for businesses? And everybody and their mama was jumping on them loans, trying to get that money. But see, what the government understood was, we're going to verify everything that you're putting down here. You can say what you want to say, how you want to say it. But we're going to go back and we're going to verify everything that you done put down. And if it ain't adding up together, then you're going to have to pay the piper. But see, a lot of people only understood that, man, they giving away money. They giving away, man, it's easy to get some of that money. I can't tell you how many people, man, why don't you try for one of them people? Man, I ain't going lying trying to get some of that money. I ain't going to tell that lie. If I got to lie to get it, I don't need it. I don't need it. I do without. I still get out here and struggle trying to do it the right way. Let me struggle doing it right. And that way, I ain't got to worry about look over my shoulder and worry about who's knocking on my door. Okay? And see, you got a lot of people right now that's worried about the knock on their door. Okay? It's your understanding, man. See, here's another thing about understanding. See, when you understand each other, you ain't scared of each other. Can't nobody, when you understand each other, can't nobody divide you. When you understand each other, look how important understanding is. When you and your significant other have an understanding, ain't too much can come between y'all. When you have an understanding, that's how important understanding is. See, and believe it or not, the one thing that people don't talk about is understanding. They talk about everything else, being an influencer. Man, You're an influencer because you can help people understand. That's how you become an influencer. You help people to comprehend, to understand. They get you. Good morning, Jamie. Thank you for joining me this morning. They get you. And I'm telling y'all, it all boils down to understanding. If you ain't got the understanding, you're going to struggle. It's just that simple. If you ain't got understanding, you are going to struggle. It's going to be a challenge for you because you don't have what? Understanding. All right? Look at, and if you think I'm kidding, look at the kids that get held back, that they don't promote. Why? Because they don't have the understanding to move forward. They don't have the understanding to be able to comprehend the next level. And oh man, and sometimes you got to wonder if this is by design to keep people stupid by not teaching them how to understand. Imagine, man, if we taught all of our young boys how to deal with the police when they stop. We wouldn't be having a lot of these murders and killings that we have, because now these young men will have some understanding of what they're dealing with. They ain't got to get emotional. They ain't got to get excited because they got understanding. And see, and what's the one thing that's not being taught these young black men? Understanding how to encounter the police. Ain't nobody teaching them that. They just automatically assume that they know. See, it's understanding. And I'm gonna tell you, see, when you develop an understanding, I remember when I first came to DC in 1975, Prince George's County had police department had an understanding. If you come over there, you're gonna get your butt kicked. They will kick your butt. They ain't care nothing about your rights. That was an understanding. And see, when you start getting out with street justice, that's an understanding. Yeah, times are changing. But even with times changing, understanding is still the same. What are we teaching? See, we're gonna have to start making sure, and God knows, y'all, the pandemic messed up the educational system. When they shut the world down and schools were closed, man, you got 2 or 3 generations that have been lost educationally. That's why they're getting on social media, busting it open on OnlyFans, because they ain't got no education. That's the only way they understand that they can make money, is to get out here and do something stupid, because that's what they see working. And whatever you see working is what you understand. God diggity dog. Listen to this, y'all. Whatever you see working is what you understand. And that's good or bad. If you see bad working, that's what you're going to end up understanding, bad. It's just that simple. And why we haven't keyed in on this, why we haven't focused on this, I can't tell you. But the key is your understanding, man. If you get your understanding in line, your life is going to get in line. Because remember, listen, I am understanding. I have strength. Okay? Understanding has strength. And when you develop, what is, again, I ain't going to take it for granted. Let me not take it for granted. Okay? Understanding. Understanding. The ability to comprehend is understanding. And see, you have to be willing to be taught to gain understanding. And everybody's not willing to be taught. See, that's the secret about understanding. Man, you have to be willing to be taught. You have to be willing to receive instructions. Because remember, listen, this is Proverbs chapter 4, verse 5. Get wisdom, get understanding. Do not forget nor turn away from the words of my mouth. Do not forsake her, and she will preserve you. Let's look up that word forsake. Forsake, abandon, or desert. It says, do not forsake her, and she will preserve you. Do not abandon understanding. Don't turn your back on understanding, because whatever you don't understand, you're bound to repeat it. And that's how important understanding is. If you don't know it, you're going to repeat it until you get an understanding of what is right and what. Matter of fact, look at the correction of children. When you discipline some children, what are you doing? You giving them an understanding of right and wrong. That's how they get their foundation of right and wrong. When you discipline them, when you instruct them, when you guide them, you're giving them an understanding. And right now, what's the one thing that's being overlooked? Is your understanding, because when you don't understand something, you can be controlled. You can be manipulated when you don't understand. And this is what's wrong right now. We have too many people that are being manipulated because they don't understand. And they think it's right. They think it's the right thing to do because they don't understand. And that's how important understanding is. See, when you don't understand, people can scare you to manipulate you when you don't understand, because you're taking at face value what they're saying is true. And they're lying through their teeth to you because they know you don't understand. Because if you did understand, if you had an understanding, you would correct. Some of the stuff that they teaching you and telling you, you would correct it. Say, that's not right. Look how many police officers, man, stop people and give them and cite a law that don't even exist, or vaguely, because they know you don't know the law. So they can tell you whatever they can phrase it any way they want to because they know you don't know. You don't have an understanding of that. Why? Because you're too busy with your head pressed down to the ground trying to keep your head above water. See, you ain't got time to be trying to see what your rights are. Because you're trying to keep your head above water. And you're going to roll the dice just like everybody else and pray and hope that you don't have an encounter. And this is where we got to start, man. We gotta make sure people understand. You know, this is not about race. This is not about ethnicity. This is about good versus evil. If we are in the last days and times, man, you're dealing with good versus evil. And the Bible will tell you the wicked will not inherit the earth. And yet people are still hung up on this thing called race. And they're not looking at the spiritual. The wickedness will not prevail. And right now, it look like the only way you can get where you want to go is being wicked. You know, you can lie and deceit and cheat and get elected to even get on the Supreme Court. You ain't gonna tell me some of them didn't lie to get on the Supreme Court. They lied. But because you don't have the understanding, you can't, wow. See, when you ain't got no understanding, you can't defend yourself. People can treat you any kind of way they want to. Because you ain't got no understanding of how to defend yourself. And 9 times out of 10, when you ain't got no understanding of how to defend yourself, all you gonna do is just pop off a bunch of noise, a bunch of emotion, because you ain't got the understanding of what you need to do, of what you should be doing. Okay? Because you don't know. And this is how we're being kept in bondage. Because we don't know. And they know you don't know. You know, see, like a lot of things that are happening for a reason. Because they're saying, okay, example. Look over in Israel. Now, the way they treat them people in Gaza, man, somebody's experimenting some stuff. Watching the behavior. If you put people under a certain kind of stress, let's see how they gonna behave. How they gonna act. So we'll use them. So now when we get ready to do it on a grand scale, see, now we know what to expect. But see, when we tell you, you better be getting out, you better get going, see, look at the pressure that they putting on those people in Gaza. Okay? Because somebody is trying to get an understanding of how people gonna act and what they gonna do. And see, and a lot of the manipulation on you is because they understand you better than you do. See, they know. See, that there's an understanding that if a white police officer kill a black man, that's gonna be divisive. Okay, and that also means that somebody getting ready to get paid. And if you notice, Every time that happens, families are lining up to sue. Let me give you an example. The girl that hung herself in jail down in Texas was stopped by the police. I blame her death on her family. That's who I blame her death on. Y'all know who I'm talking about. She was driving a car, and the police got and slammed her down on the ground and took her to jail, but she couldn't get nobody to post bond for her. And see, I've been to jail for vending. I mean, the vending cops wore me out before it's locking me up. And I got to tell you something, man. If you ain't never been in that jail cell before, when that door closed behind you, man, your mind started playing. I don't care for how long you're going to be up in there. Your mind started playing tricks with you. Okay? Now, this girl couldn't get nobody to come bail her out. She couldn't get nobody to bond her out. And you think that wasn't depressing? You think she didn't give up? Now, she already fragile. And you think, and this is the thing about the system. Once the system starts mistreating you, see, it can get away. It can get away. You can't get away mistreating the system, but the system can get away with mistreating you. And if you don't think, ain't some people out here ain't been mistreated, ain't been lied on, ain't been cheated? Come on, man. You know, the system can beat you if you don't know. You see, and the reason we find ourselves in the position that we in is because we don't have an understanding. And I'm talking, man, I'm in this position right now because of my understanding. Okay? And my understanding landed me right here. Because it's something I missed. Something I was not able to connect. That's how important your understanding is. Because when it's on point, you clicking. When your understanding is on point and everything's going right in your life, man, you clicking. You ain't got no issues. You ain't got no problems. And believe it or not like right now, I need a vehicle. And there is some understanding that I ain't tapped into yet. That even with my credit being the way it is, there's still a vehicle out here for me. I just haven't tapped into the understanding of how to be able to manifest it. Okay? Even in this circumstance, I still, my understanding can bring me out. And the Bible said, listen, Truth Conductor ain't saying this. I'm not saying, I'm telling you what the Bible say. Listen. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 13. Happy is the man who finds wisdom, and the man who gains understanding. For her proceeds are better than profits of silver, and her gain than fine gold. She's more precious than rubies, and all things you may desire cannot be compared with her. Understanding. Okay? That's how important. Understand everything that functions that's functioning properly functions on understanding. Everything that is functioning properly is functioning on understanding. How to apply it, man. How to use it. That's understanding. That's what understanding is. How to is understanding. Okay? How to use this. How to apply this. That's understanding. And this is what a lot of people are missing. Understanding. See, and let me show you something. Let me show you something. Listen, this is chapter 4, verse 8. Exalt her, and she will promote you. She will bring you honor when you embrace her. You hear that? Exalt her. How do you exalt, man? Speaking highly of. Putting it up, giving it reverence when you exalt something. See, you speak highly of something. You respect it when you exalt something. And see, and that's why you have to be careful about what it is you are exalting as your example. See, because you got a lot of people out here exalting sin as their example, and that's what they're getting. See, they're exalting adultery and fornication and lie and deceit. They're exalting that. And that's what they're reaping. That's what they're reaping. Because remember, it said back here, this is chapter 8, verse 35. For whoever finds me finds life and obtains favor from the Lord. But he who sins against me wrongs his own soul. And all those who hate me love death. See, when you hate understanding, you love death. Because you can't be told nothing. You can't be instructed. You can't be guided. It's understanding is the key, man. It's the key. And it ain't nothing in your life working that you don't understand. There's nothing working in your life that you don't understand. Because if you didn't understand it, it wouldn't be there. That's how important understanding is, man. And see, and the one thing that you don't hear preachers talk about, man, get your understanding. See, and here's why it's important to live a righteous lifestyle. Because you got a lot of voices in your head that want to be the default voice, want to be the voice in control. And some of those voices are destructive. Some of those voices are harmful, telling you to do some things that will utterly destroy you. And if you're weak and you're unsure of yourself, you listen to these voices and you're thinking that you're doing the right thing, and you're out harming something, harming yourself, harming other people, because that's your understanding. You don't have a concept of what it's like, okay? Because of your understanding. It's your understanding, man, why you where you are. It's your understanding. Because if you knew better, you would do better. Let me say that again. If you knew better, you would do better. It's your understanding. And see, when you start trying to develop your understanding, man, you got to educate yourself. You got to sit down and read. You have to sit down and get another opinion, another viewpoint. When you got understanding, see, you're not afraid to ask questions when you have understanding. Okay? When you don't have understanding, see, you think every question is dumb, or you're gonna look stupid for asking a question because you don't have any understanding. All right? And see, and a lot of people know that if you are insecure and unsure, 9 times out of 10, you ain't gonna question nothing because you don't want to reveal that you don't know. And that's why a lot of people are going along, getting along, because they're afraid to reveal that they don't know. Okay? They don't know something. They ain't sure. See, they look at that as a handicap, as an embarrassment, because they don't know. And it's a lot of us just don't know, man. We just don't know because we haven't been taught. Because most of the stuff that we are talking is just teaching us just to survive. It don't teach us to thrive. It just teaches us to survive. See, by any means necessary. That's what the education system is doing now for these young kids. It's just teaching them survive by any means necessary. Because a lot of the stuff that we teach in classes right now have no relevance to everyday life. Isn't it interesting? We still teaching shit that happened back in the 1800s. And we expect for people to live the same way like they lived back then. And it's a different time, man. It's a different space. It's a different energy. And we still don't want to move. We don't want to grow. It's all about your understanding. And the minute you get your understanding in line, your life is going to get in line. I'm telling y'all, man, I'm going to sit down here, and I know there's a van out there for me. I know there's a vehicle out there for me with my name on it. I just got to get the understanding of how to be able to get it. I just got to get that understanding, man. Yeah, I just got to get, you know what? I think today, I'm going to go look for me a truck. I think today I'm going to go test drive me a truck. Today, between the day and tomorrow, I'm going to find it first. And if it's local, I'm going to go find me a truck. I'm going to go look at me a truck to buy. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go look at me a truck. Yes, I am. Matter of fact, I'm gonna dress up in my stuff today, and I'm gonna get out here, and I'm gonna go look for me a truck. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go look for me a truck. I am. With knowing what the circumstances that I'm facing, I'm still gonna step out on my faith, man. And if it works, it was meant to be. If it don't, it wasn't. It's all about your understanding, man. It's all about your understanding. If you get your understanding in order, a lot of stuff you ain't got to be afraid of. See, when you have understanding, you can look at when people are using fear to try to manipulate you. And see, that should be a caution anytime somebody's using uh, a sob story or trying to manipulate you with some drama. Something is off. Your understanding should tell you, man, wait a minute, something ain't right with this. I'm not I'm not getting caught up in the sob story. And that's the mistake a lot of people are making. They getting caught up in the sob story. See, and that's what swing their opinion, the sob story. And you can't get caught up in the sob story. You gotta let that sob story go. Okay? You gotta let that go. All right, what time is it? 10:15. Man, it's still early yet. Boy, I wish I could go to the White House today. But it's gotta be a reason that I can't get down there. So whenever I get back, or if I get back, see, this might be, this just could very well be the end of my having to go. And see, here's the thing about blessings. See, God has ways we know not of. And even though I have been inconvenienced with my starter, with the screw breaking off in my starter, man, this could be the beginning. This could be the beginning. Man, in fact, let me show y'all something. Let me show you something. Where my wallet at? Oh, here it is. Here it is. See, this yesterday, I had to go and get me another bank card because my old one had been compromised. Okay? And when I went to the bank to get this card was when the screw fell out my starter on the lock. And I got up under there and put the screw back into the starter. But I must have done something wrong because it broke off on my way back to the hotel. Okay? And this could be the card that could send me all over the world. This could be the card. You know, and I'm looking at, you know, and see, sometimes, a lot of times we get caught up in what we're dealing with and what we're facing, that we don't rise above it and see another view, see another angle, and just maybe that my starter going out on my car is what's pushing me to finally look for something. Because as long as my car, I could get and crank it up and get and go, see, I ain't got no need to go look. See, as long as my car is running, I ain't got no need to go and look because I can get from point A to point B. But now that I can't get from point A to point B, see, I got to look at some other options. I have to understand some things now. And I told y'all, I've been down the road where I done purchased new vehicles and talking about, look how God blessed me. I ended up getting them repossessed. Because the Bible says when God bless you, he don't add no sorrow to it. Okay? So if you've had something repossessed, or you done lost it, that wasn't from God. That's something you manifested. That's something you created. And see, you got a lot of people going around here creating debt and talking about, look how God blessed me. And God ain't had nothing to do with your debt. If God bless you, he'd have gave it to you free. See, if God gonna bless you, he ain't gonna give you no debt to bless you with. That ain't no blessing from God. Debt is not a blessing from God. Let me say that again. Debt is not a blessing from God. Quit going around telling people God done bless you with some debt, because he didn't have nothing to do with it. That was your doing. That was all manifested on you. God ain't had nothing to do with it. Okay? Ecclesiastes 7. Let's see what we got here. The value of practical wisdom. This chapter 7 of Ecclesiastes. A good name is better than precious ointment. How do you get a good name? Your word, keeping your word, your honesty, your integrity. It's what gives you a good name. And it says a good name is better than precious ointment. Okay? And the day of death than the day of one's birth. Verse 2. Better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting. For that is the end of all men, and the living will take it to heart. Verse 3. Sorrow is better than laughter, and by a sad countenance, the heart is made better. Wow. Wow. Listen, man. Hold on a second here. Listen. Sorrow is, good name is better than riches. Look how many jerks you got that are millionaires, that are total a-holes. They're a-holes, and they got money. They're rude, they're nasty, they're arrogant. And the Bible say a good name is better than money. It's better than money. Because when you got a good name, man, people will help you. People will come to your aid. When you got a good name, you got a good reputation. People will defend you when you got a good name. They will speak up for you when you got a good name. And how do you get a good name? Your word. By keeping your word, your integrity. How you treat people. Give you a good name. That's how you get a good name, man. Because you ain't out trying to abuse nobody, cheat nobody, rob nobody. You'll help people. That's how you get a good name. Listen, sorrow is better than laughter. For by a sad countenance, the heart is made better. Let's look up that word countenance. Okay. It says, for by a sad countenance, the heart is made better. Countenance. A person's face or facial expression. So this is saying, for by a sad countenance, the heart is made better. Okay? And why is that? Because, man, when you down and out, what's the one thing people gonna try to do? Makes you cheer you up. To make you feel better. To lift your spirits. When you have a sad countenance, when that's a look on your face, when you feeling sorry for yourself. Listen, it says, for by a sad countenance, the heart is made better. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. That's pleasure. See, that's having fun. That's getting funky. See, when you're in the house of mirth, you getting funky. You see, you doing your thing when you're in the house of mirth. Okay? Verse 5. It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. Listen, it is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. Rebuke. Let's look up that word. Rebuke. Express sharp disapproval or criticism. It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. For like the crackling of thorns under a pot, so is the laughter of fools. This is also vanity. Verse 7, surely oppression destroys a wise man's reason, and a bribe debases the heart. A bribe debases the heart. Let's look up that word, debase. Debased. Reduced in quality or value. Okay? Surely oppression destroys a wise man's reason, and a bribe debases the heart. Number 8, verse 8. The end of a thing is better than its beginning. The patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Verse 9. Do not hasten in your spirit to be angry, for anger rests in the bosoms of fools. Oh man, see, I just helped somebody with that. Listen, let me read that again. Do not hasten in your spirit to be angry, for anger rests in the bosoms of fools. Look at a hot-headed person, man. How stupid they are. I've seen hot-headed people in this hotel fighting, arguing, and I said, man, I don't even want to get involved in that crap. I don't even want to get involved in it, because that's a fool right there. Getting out here clowning, knowing the police gonna come. Okay? Verse 10. Do not say, why were the former days better than these? For you do not inquire wisely concerning this. Listen to this. Do not say, why were the former days better than these? For you do not inquire wisely concerning this. And you know, when I see this right here, MAGA, Make America Great Again, it says, do not say, why were the former days better than these? There's MAGA right there. Make America Great Again? You ain't supposed. How can you say when you don't know what's in the future? And you talking about make America great again? And here's the scripture. Lord said, "Do not say, why were the former days better than these?" And when you say make America great again, you talking about what we once was. And you can't say that. How can you say make America great again when you don't know what the future holds? Verse 11. Wisdom is good with an inheritance and profitable to those who see the sun. Verse 12. For wisdom is a defense as money is a defense. For wisdom is a defense as money is a defense. Man, you know, this is one of absolutely. See, wisdom is a defense as money is a defense. See, this is why wherever you go, you should any transaction that you have, you should always get a receipt. Listen to me, people. When you go somewhere and you spend a transaction, always get a receipt. Why is that, Truth Conductor? Because that receipt is proof of time where you were. Let me say that again. See, you always get a receipt because that receipt is going to show proof of the time where you were. And somebody can come and say, you did this when you got a receipt to show how I'm going to be in two places at once. How is that? And so many people right now go in the store, watch them, and the cashier, you want a receipt? Nah, I don't need it. You just might. Because that receipt is proof of where you were at that time. And if somebody's trying to accuse you and you ain't got no receipt, how you going to prove? You can't say, well, I was at the gas station. Where your receipt? I ain't getting no receipt. But see, if you can pull out and say, man, this is where I was at this time, y'all got the wrong man. And that's the end of the story. See, and listen, for wisdom is a defense as money is a defense. Man, sometimes you got to be wise about what you're doing and where you are. And the one thing I can tell anybody, man, get a receipt. Bernie, good morning, brother. Wherever you go, get a receipt because that's proof of where you were. Okay? For wisdom is a defense as money is a defense. But the excellence of knowledge is that wisdom gives life to those who have it. Okay? Listen to this. All right? Listen to this. Man, Bernie, you know something, brother? I really appreciate, man, uh, you coming in and engaging the people that are in here. You one of the few people, brother, that come in here and actually engage the people that's in the room. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that a lot, brother. I really, really, really appreciate that, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, sir. Verse 13. Consider the work of God, for who can make straight what he has made crooked? And who can make crooked what he has made straight? See, that in it, oh, listen to this. Verse 14. In the day of prosperity, be joyful. But in the day of adversity, consider. See, when you got it going on, you ain't got a care in the world. Listen, in the day of prosperity, be joyful. Man, you happy. You ain't got a care in the world. You ain't got a care in the world. But in a day of adversity, consider, do I really need that? Can I get by without that this time? See, when you face an adversity, see, you ain't careless. You don't spend recklessly. When you're joyful, man, you just scattering money everywhere. But when adversity, in the day of adversity, you consider, do I need this? Can I get by without this? When you consider something, see, you have to question its value. Surely God has appointed the one as well as the other, so that a man can find out nothing that will come after him. I have no idea what that means. I have no idea. I had to go back and read that again. In the day of prosperity, be joyful, but the day of adversity, consider. Surely God has appointed the one as well as the other, so that man can find out nothing that will come after him. I got to give me some wisdom on that, Lord. I've seen everything in my days of vanity. There's a just man who perishes in his righteousness, and there's a wicked man who prolongs life in his wickedness. And you can see that today, man. You can see a just man who's perishing in his righteousness. And look, and there's a wicked man who prolongs life with his wickedness. You can see that today, man. How doing it the right way is right now, right is wrong and wrong is right. Today, right is wrong and wrong is right. Today. That's the scripture right here. Okay? Verse 16. Do not be overly righteous, nor be overly wise. Why should you destroy yourself? Do not be overly wicked, nor be foolish. Why should you die before your time? Wow. Wow. Do not be overly righteous, nor be overly wise. Why should you destroy yourself? Okay. So let's look up this word, overly. Overly. Let's look up that word. Overly. Excessively. Excessively. Do not be excessively righteous, nor be excessively wise. Why should you destroy yourself. And see, when you are overly righteous, you're faking. When you're overly wise, you're faking. You're faking. Because it say, why should you destroy yourself? And that's how you're gonna destroy yourself, being fake. When you're overly excessive, when you add in some more, you putting a little bit more energy into what you're doing. See, when you're excessive, you're faking it. It's not genuine, it's not true. And that's how you destroy yourself. And it says, do not be overly wicked, nor be foolish. Why should you die before your time? Okay? And that's being stupid. And being stupid, you can die before your time. Listen, it says, do not be overly wicked, nor be foolish. Matter of fact, let's look up that term, wicked. Wicked. The quality of being evil or morally wrong. Okay, man, boy, I'm just sitting here thinking. My grandson is in a musical that's going to Broadway in New York next year. They opened in New Orleans, and the end of the month, they're gonna be in Chicago. And my daughter had just asked me, Daddy, you wanna go to Chicago with me to see Jeremiah in the play? And I was like, let's see what's going on, baby. Let me see what's going on. And I really would like to go see my grandson. He's in this musical. The title of the musical is A Wonderful World, the life of Louis Armstrong. And the actor who's actually playing Louis Armstrong is pantomiming on the trumpet. And it's my grandson who's behind stage that's actually playing the trumpet. He's playing Louis Armstrong in this musical, but he's behind stage. Okay? The actual actor is pantomiming. But it's not, matter of fact, they just they sent an article. My daughter sent me this article where they were talking about the play and how long it was, and they said that my grandson, that the matter of fact, let me see. Hold on a second. Here it is. Um, Let me find out. Okay. Okay. So listen to this. Um, Engelhart often had a trumpet pressed to his lips, but he was not actually playing it. By and large, Engelhart sold his trumpet pantomime, which is critical to the presentation. Trumpeter Jeremiah Flack is the production's designated offstage Armstrong. That's my grandson, goddamn. That's my grandson. That's my grandson. That's who that is. My grandson. That's my grandson. Okay? That's my grandson playing the trumpet. Yeah. That's all right, devil. Verse 18. It is good that you grasp this, and also not remove your hand from the other. For he who fears God will escape them all. Verse 19. Wisdom strengthens the wise more than 10 rulers of the city. For there is not a just man on earth who does good and does not sin. Let me. Excuse me now. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. All right. Listen. Wisdom, no. Verse 20. For there is not a just man on earth who does good and does not sin. I keep telling you, ain't nobody perfect, man. I keep telling you, there is not a just man on earth who does good and does not sin. Okay? Also, do not take to heart everything people say, lest you hear your servants cursing you. Verse 21. Also, do not take to heart everything people say, lest you hear your servants cursing you. For many times also your own heart has known that even you have cursed others. Okay? What's going on, TC? Gamer? What's going on? But anyway, hold on a second, y'all. Hold on. I got a little emotional about my grandson because I sure would like to go see that boy. And if it's God's will, I'll be there. If it ain't, I won't. It's just that simple. Seeing this is what I now understand. No, man, I ain't got the money to get it fixed, gamer. I ain't got the money yet, man. It's still sitting out in the parking lot. Still sitting out in the parking lot. I don't, no, I don't have the money to get it fixed yet. Don't have the money yet, but that too is coming. That too is coming. It's all about your understanding, y'all. Hey, gamer. I serve a good God, man. I serve a good God. He ain't let me down yet. So I got to ride with him. God ain't let me down yet. I've been through a lot, man. God ain't let me down yet. So I can't. And see, and I've been here. I've been without my car before. So getting around without a car ain't a problem. Because I understand the system. I know how to work the transportation system. Okay, so that ain't no problem. Getting where I want to go. And luckily, I'm on a bus line. The hotel is on a bus line. All I got to do is walk right out to the bus stop and get what time it's coming and walk right out there and get on the bus and go wherever. And sometimes it's free. All right, all right. And some I don't have to pay to get on the bus. The particular bus I'm riding is free. See, so and it's just the only thing is I can't go directly to point A to point B. I have to go with which way it goes. So it'll take me a little bit more time to do what I need to do, but still, I'm right where everything I need. So I'll go out here, man. I'm gonna get dressed, and I'm going to the store because I need to get some stuff. I got some stuff I need to get. Okay, and come back in, and let the chips fall where they may. Only thing, see y'all. The only thing I can do at this point is keep my faith, keep believing, not panicking, not getting depressed, not worrying. Well, well, see again, man, when you and the one thing that I try to do, David, is show people in real time how I respond and react to stuff. See, a lot of people will hide this. A lot of people would be ashamed that they done got evicted and they got to live in a hotel and they talking about God. They talking about a righteous lifestyle. You see? And you got to live in a hotel. Where is that God you talking about? You think I don't feel that? You think I don't sense that? See that? Do you think I don't realize that, my sitting down here talking about God and how good God is and the struggles that I'm having, but what I try to show people in real time is the little small blessings. Like yesterday, man, when my screw fell out my starter, now that screw broke off on the way back to the hotel. I don't know where it broke off at. But when my screw fell out of my starter yesterday, I had to listen. Somebody from Amazon in Mexico tried to make a charge on my card. Okay? Okay? And my bank blocked my account because they suspected fraud. Okay? Well, in the meantime, the people at the hotel kept charging, trying to charge. They made the charge, it declined. They come back again, make the charge, it declined. Come back again, make the charge, decline. Never called me. Say, Mr. Folden, your card is not going through. I could have picked up the phone and found out what was going on because I knew the money was there. Right? So when I get back to the hotel, I told him, I said, man, look, y'all ain't ran my card today. I said, I need to pay for my room. So I get he run the card. He says decline. I said, wait a minute. I got money in the bank. Then I look at my phone and I got a fraud alert on my phone. And it's showing me all of the charges. And I said, man, I got to wait until tomorrow to go to the bank because my card has been compromised. So I'm just going to have to go and get me a new bank card. And when I went to get that new bank card, it's when my screw fell out my starter. Right there at the bank. Because when I came out the bank and I heard the starter dragging, I said, damn, screw done came out. And I look under that, man, the screw done dropped out on the ground. So I, pop my trunk, get my jack up the car, put the screw back in, and get home. And I came alive, told y'all, man, listen, I just got blessed. Not knowing the screw done broke. Okay? So, man, I'm just, okay. This for a reason. I'm going through this for a reason. There's a reason God got me here. Knowing that one, I got DC Black Tour. People ain't booking tours. Okay? If they was booking tours, I wouldn't even be in this hotel. See, and that's this why I don't panic, y'all. See, a lot of folk in here don't have no streams of income ready to go. They ain't got nothing to fall back on. Man, I got my brand to fall back on. I got my tours to fall back on. I got my dinnerware line that I can launch. I got my hop on, hop off shuttle. And I got more tours that I ain't even put on my site yet. Imagine, man, if I had some money where I could sit down and really focus without not having to worry about keeping my head above what? Shit. You ain't saying, man, I'd take this city over. I'd take this city over because I know what they do. I know what everybody do. I know what they do. My tours are cover the whole city. See, most of the folk only focus in the monument box. That's where they make their money, in the monument box. And what I tried to do is get people out of the monument box so you can see the rest of the city. Okay? And get a feel for how people was living. That's what I try to do. And see, and let me tell y'all something. Listen. And now that I'm thinking about it, see, when I'm doing my tours, I'm exalting understanding because I took some information and put it in a story. And I'm now telling that story so people can understand it. See, anytime that you tell a story, you're exalting understanding. Because what you're trying to get people to do is to see what it is you're saying. Okay? And that's been my focus. And, I can only go by what people say. And, everybody say they enjoy my tours. They like my tours. Why they haven't blown up the way they should, I don't know. But I'm not going. You know what? While I'm in here, I'm in this Bible. Man, let me read to you. Today is the 17th of October. Let me read the 17th chapter of Proverbs. Better is a dry morsel with quietness than a house full of feasting with strife. Listen to this. Better is a dry morsel with quietness than a house full of feasting with strife. Will Smith and this Will Smith right here. Here's Will Smith. Got money. Got money. Got all kinds of money. Better is a dry morsel with quietness than a house full of feasting with strife. Oh, ain't no peace. No matter what you do, ain't no peace. Verse 2, a wise servant will have rule over a son who causes shame and will share an inheritance among the brothers. A wise servant will rule over a son who causes shame. Even when your son has caused shame, the Bible say you will still have rule over that son. Even though they done caused you some shame, you still gonna have rule over that son. Okay? Verse 3. And by the way, that scripture right there is talking to me. Okay? That scripture right there is talking to me. A wise servant will rule over a son who causes shame. Maybe, and see, my intuition just said, man, read chapter 17. And I needed to see that. Verse 3, the refining pot is for silver and the furnace for gold, but the Lord tests the hearts. See, anytime God want to deal with what kind of person you are, God is going to look into your heart. Because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth will speak. And sometimes deception will give the appearance of good. But God is going to look into your heart. Because that defines you as a person. What's in your heart is what God is going to judge you by. Okay? Verse 4, an evildoer gives heed to false lip. A liar listens eagerly to a spiteful tongue. See, a liar listens eagerly to a spiteful tongue. Okay? An evildoer gives heed to false lips. A liar listens eagerly to a spiteful. Let's look up that word spiteful. Spiteful. Showing or caused by malice. An evildoer gives heed to false lips. A liar listens eagerly to a spiteful tongue. He who mocks the poor reproaches his maker, and he who is glad at calamity will not go unpunished. Verse 6, children's children are the crown of old men, and the glory of children is their father. Children's children are the crown of old men, and the glory of children is their father. Excellent speech is not becoming to a fool, much less lying lips to a prince. A present is a precious stone in the eyes of its possessor, Wherever he turns, he prospers. A present, a gift, is a precious stone in the eyes of the possessor. Wherever he turns, everybody loves somebody that's giving something. No matter what, if you giving something, no matter where you turn, good or bad, you're going to prosper. If you giving. See, a present is a precious stone in the eyes of its possessor. Wherever he turns, he prospers. And what's left out of wherever? Nothing. So you can turn doing good and you can turn doing bad. You're going to prosper. My phone then froze. Wow. My phone just froze. Ain't that something? My phone then froze. That's a first. That's a first. I'm sitting here looking at myself. I done froze. My thing done froze. But anyway, I guess that's it. That's it.